Yeah, welcome back to another Josh K Guitar video. Josh here, as always, at your service. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do hit the like and the subscribe button so that you get all the latest content. Today, we are delving back into Mick Goodrick's voice leading almanac. I'm doing this series because I realize this book is not available for under $1,000, so I'm just doing, a page at a time, one or two a week, and today we're going to just go ahead and continue with that series. We're getting finished with what I would call the simple part of this book. That means triads and diatonic information with triads. We're on to the last, after today, last 3 cycles. We're going to have cycle 5 and cycle 3 and something else that I'm forgetting. After those, these are going to get way harder than they are already. So just be ready, and I might slow things down at that point, make things a little bit more digestible. Maybe break one page up into 2 lessons or something like that. So just stay tuned for all of that, because it's just going to get crazier from here on out. Here's the book we're discussing. Mr. Goodrick Chord's Almanac of Guitar Voice Leading for the year 2001 and beyond, and gladly we're beyond. I'll point out what it says on the book. Batteries are not included. Some assembly is required. For that reason, I do not include tabs in these videos. What I do include instead are my handy-dandy fretboard charts, so you can see what notes I'm playing while I'm playing them. And that way you can kind of see how my brain is working. But that said, don't just transcribe what you see on that. Figure out what the sound is and figure out your own way to play that sound on the guitar. Sometimes that's going to be the same frets as me. Cool. but also like find every other way to make that same sound. That's the main thing. The other thing I will stress, it is, I can't say this enough. Always monitor sensations in your fretting hand so that you don't have any discomfort at all. If you feel a little bit of discomfort, put down the instrument for, at least a couple of minutes and then come back later. You can always break things up so that you're playing them one note at a time instead of all three notes of the triad together. There's a number of ways to simplify and make these a little bit easier for you to digest so that your hand is not hurt. This is only music. Do not hurt yourself. Don't give yourself tendonitis over this stuff. It's not worth it. So, that said, just be careful when you do have any discomfort at all. That's actually a good thing. That means you're stretching. But, again, put it down so that your hands can rest and then get used to that stretch. When you come back tomorrow, you'll be that much closer to be able to making that stretch that was making discomfort for you before and making it comfortably. So that's the goal. That's what we're going for. That's a big part of all of this. So, that said, let's get to the page. We are doing Cycle 7. Harmonic minor, key of C. So what that means is we're moving in sevenths upward. You can also think of that as seconds downward, but you want to pay attention to the melodic direction. You can see that all of these arrows are pointing upwards, which means you don't want to go down by a second or up by a seventh. You want to go up by the intervals described on the page. So that said, let me blow up each section so you can see the closed and spread voicings of all of these. There's your closed section. Please screenshot that so you can practice at your own convenience. I'm going to do today's lesson like the last one, where I just do one line and do all the available versions of those fingerings of triads. So you're going to want to have these other two lines to practice. Today I'm going to do the second line instead of the first line. Just to change it up a little bit and give you guys a little bit of variation. And there's the MSRP. That's the interesting melodic cycle that happens here. It's like almost a scale, but not quite. You can see E flat goes right to G here. B skips C and goes to D. So there's some differences there. But again, screenshot the spread part. You're going to want to practice this section, and screenshot the closed part. I'm going to do that as well. And let's get right to it. So like I said, I'm going to start with the second line. So that's going to be here, C, E flat, G, C. So it means E flat is on the bottom, and then G is in the middle, C is on top. And we're going to work up one octave. And if I need to move down an octave for my acoustic people, I'll do so as necessary. So that said, E flat, G, C. That happens to be right there. Let me go ahead and turn off the effects. Nice, easy shape. 8-8-8. That's the fingering for the top string set. We're also going to do that here, and here, and here. So this really helps with learning triad inversions. So that said, here we are, E flat, C, G. And what you want to do is, again, pay attention to the direction. I'm just going to play the triad shapes so you can try to understand that. But as I've said in my other video, there's melodic content as well as chord content here. So as you're moving up, this is C minor, this is B diminished. But if you pay attention on each individual string, right, you have this, and this, and this. And that's not really a scale. Those are just the notes of the arpeggios in the order from lowest to highest. That's a just cool lick. You can shred with that lick. Right? You can shred with that. Really just fun material to play with. I'm not going to do that on every chord change like I've done in previous videos. I'm just going to play the shape, but keep that in mind as you practice these. C minor, B diminished, right? So E flat moves up to F, G up to B, C up to D. Then from there we're moving to A flat, and again, everything up. Typically, a guitar player might think C minor, B diminished, right? A flat, G. And that's great. That's also really, really good voice leading. But if you're looking for a change in direction, something that's different than what you would typically do, this is great for figuring that out. Having the direction move in a way that we wouldn't normally choose to use. So B diminished moves up to A flat. So that's F up to A flat, B up to C, D up to E flat. A flat then moves up to G. These are big moves, right? So A flat up to B, C to D, and E flat all the way up to G. Big jump. Really, really fun. But this G, let's go ahead and move that down 12 frets. Let's make it easier on my acoustic people. You can absolutely continue these up, right? Right? G, F minor, right? But I'm going to be kind. So here's F minor, right? So B to C, D to F, G, A flat. Then we get E flat augmented. So, alright. That's C to E flat, F to G, A flat to B. Then we get D diminished. And then that takes us to C minor. Really, really great sound there. Now to get the same sound, right? E flat, G, C. And we can move this up the same way. So I'm just going to go real fast through the shapes. B diminished, A flat, G, F minor, E flat augmented, D diminished, C minor, D diminished, C minor. Right? Then, right, E flat, G, C. So I'm just doing the second line all the way through and then ending on this chord, first note of the third line, every time. I'm just doing different string set. So now, third string set, strings 3, 4, 5, right? C minor, B diminished, A flat, G, F minor. Let's move that down 12 frets. E flat augmented, D diminished, C minor. Now this one's going to sound really close to the same thing. Right? I'm just going to move my octave in a different place. So C minor, B diminished, A flat. Let's do A flat down. G, F minor, E flat augmented, D diminished, C minor. And again, remember there's melodic information on all those, so you want to practice that the same. I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm not going to do that. Let's move on and do those spreads. I'm just going to do 1 or 2 of these today, but definitely figure out all of them. The reason for that is I'm going to start here, E flat, C, G, spreading the notes out, but this chord is the same, right? So I'm going to kind of like stay in this place, and then I'm like shifting a little bit between those two. So I'm going to show you kind of like this group, 1, 2, 3, 4, and also 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 at the same time. And then kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4 also at the same time. So it's a little trickier today. That said, here's our C minor, right? And B diminished. I either hybrid pick that or individual pick them, or you can mute so you can strum all the way through. It's kind of tricky to mute this one because those notes are so spread out, but it can be done. B diminished, then we get A flat, G, F minor, E flat augmented, D diminished, C minor. Right, so there's one way to do it. Then you can do like here, right? So C minor, B diminished, right? A flat. Let's move that down. G, F minor, E flat, D diminished, C minor. So hopefully this has been a helpful way for you to study your triads. I'll be back next week. We're going to continue this same approach, but I'm going to do the third line, and we'll be on a different page, so a different modality. But if you want to see that, make sure you do like and subscribe. Leave me a comment if there's any sections you want me to break down a little further. Have a great Tone Tuesday, and I'll see you tomorrow.